This instructional video will be the correct method and what I recommend for cleaning the axles prior to spraying for your race prep. The first step was using a Dremel tool, spinning the axle and cleaning it with a silver cloth dipped in alcohol to get that polish off after polishing the axle. Now we're going to do the race prep method. Drop our axle. This is the right front axle that we'll be preparing for the car. We dip it in alcohol, take the silver cloth, clean the sharp end of your axle first, and then reverse that. Dip it back in alcohol, your silver cloth, with the folded end towards the nail head. Place it around the axle against the nail head and twist between your fingers. And I'll do that one more time. It don't take much to get that the previous race prep off. Like so. And we'll take our air. Where's the hose? Here we go. And blow off our axle. And this is one of the very critical things before you spray the axle, is using magnification. A microscope is the best method, but I don't have a microscope, so I have a shop light, a very handy shop light that I invested. You can kind of move it around any place on your workbench. I placed a piece of sandpaper, a dark surface, to help see, it helps me see. So I'm looking through this magnification from the shop light and another handheld magnification device, and what I'm looking for is any debris that might still be remaining on the axle. And well, we better dip that in there again, since I just dropped it. The idea here is to clean this axle and leave nothing on the axle. Because if you do, your car won't go at the speeds that you are desiring. Before respraying your axle on race prep, use magnification to make sure there's nothing left at all. The silver cloth, when you spin it in the drill out, when you're cleaning off the polishes, occasionally will collect in this recess against the head. Check it one more time. I see nothing at all left on the axle. So we'll place that in our axle holder. For the right front, this one's marked right rear. Clean the opposite end of the axle to the head first. Then you can reverse and put the silver cloth and fold it in against the nail head and spin it, cleaning the axle and silver cloth back in the alcohol. If you would spin this on the axle, it'll work 90% of the time, but the other 10% you could possibly collect a thread in that end of the axle that's recessed. And not touching the axle where the axle touches the wheel bore. Spray it off with air. And check with magnification. I see nothing left. There's no threads in that recess on the axle head, against the axle head. There's none in the recess in the middle. It looks good. You place that in your axle holder. Alright, next nail, I clean the opposite end of the nail, or the nail head. And back in, and let the fold it in towards the axle head. Spin it between your fingers. That should be clean. Don't touch your axle where it touches the wheel bore. And blow it off with air. And we'll check under magnification. Spin it around so you can see the entire axle. Pay particular attention to the groove close to the nail head. There's no threads, there's no debris, no contamination at all on the axle. That axle is clean. Place it back in the axle holder. And these axles are clean, checked under magnification, and ready to spray your race prep.